Welcome back to our Buyer's Guide series. And today we're diving deep into the final walkthrough phase of buying a house in the great state of New York. And this is the ultimate step where your dream house transforms from a vision into reality. So make sure you know what to do during this process instead of simply taking a look at the house before you move in.
Real quick, like and subscribe to really stay up to date on the real estate market and really follow along with the journey of learning more about what it means to buy and sell in this current economy. So let's get back right into the video.
So first, you should make yourself a checklist of everything you should be doing and checking. And these will make sure you're aware of certain aspects that most of the time a lot of people will forget about. So this final inspection is essentially you acting as that home inspector, the home inspector that you hired at the beginning of the house buying process. So instead of finding all of the problems, your main goal is to find problems on the aspects that were not agreed upon in the initial contract signing. So this checklist includes aspects such as working appliances, working HVAC system, a new HVAC system, or anything that you agreed upon within that contract. If you are buying your house as is, it will be a little bit harder for you during this process, but you should still do your due diligence and check on all those major appliances and things that are part of the house. And if there are any items that are agreed upon, you need to make sure you have those noted down to check those during the final walkthrough. If you forget about the agreed upon terms and items that you should be wary of, you can always review it with your attorney and with your real estate agent to really form that comprehensive list to make sure you hit all of those vital items. The goal here is not to get a further reduction in price at the closing table, but instead to really ensure that you get the house in the agreed upon condition at which you sign the contract in. Quick tip, if you have taken pictures or videos before you got to your final walkthrough, you should really use them as a reference point. If you have done that home inspection at the beginning of the process, you can also use the pictures that they have taken and cross-reference as you walk through the house. Because sometimes you forget the details and you want to make sure if this is already discussed previously, you don't need to bring it up again. You have reached the house and you're ready for your final walkthrough. This is the main thing where you pull out that checklist and you want to make sure you go through each one step by step. So first on your checklist should be all the major appliances, and you want to make sure that they are all in working order, especially if this was agreed upon within the contract. So this could be from all the kitchen appliances like the stove and the oven, and all the way to the larger systems like the HVAC system. So you want to test all of these to make sure you don't have any surprises later on. Now, as you are walking through the house and really looking at all the different aspects to the house, there are some things you should really keep an eye out. And this is the part where if you bring a flashlight, it will be helpful for you to spot those different changes. So with the flashlight, you'll be able to more easily spot water stains on the ceilings or cracks in the walls. And those things, if you just quickly glance at it, you might miss. So these things, if you didn't notice them before when you initially bought the house, they could be an underlying problem that could be something you should be wary of. You need to take your time to make sure you don't really miss anything. Like how your home inspector took his time to make sure he went through all the details of the house. You also want you to do yourself justice instead of skipping steps here. And while you're doing this final walkthrough, don't be afraid to ask your agent questions or even the seller themselves. And if there are things you're really unsure about, you can always request for further inspection or even like more details to make sure that this is what was agreed upon initially. And this is something that I always recommend every buyers. Make sure you check the simplest items too. If there's an AC, where is the remote? Does it even work? You want to make sure that if there is an AC system, it opens up, it actually blows out the cold air. So this won't be a problem you might need to fix in the future. So throughout this phase in the final walkthrough, effective communication is really key to make sure that there won't be any complications during it and after when you meet at the closing table. So first off, you need to be clear and concise about your expectations, which can lead to a more positive outcome for both parties involved. Thank the seller and agent for their time and really making this happen. As if you are friendly and basically opening up yourself, you're more likely to open more avenues to discuss potential problems that might be discovered as you walk through the house. They're more likely to answer your questions and work with you throughout this process. And third, you want to make sure that you guys have an agreed upon time horizon for when you will be completing this final walkthrough. This is mainly a time where you go about and make sure all the agreed upon repairs are done. And remember, having all of this in writing will really ensure accountability and reduce the chance of misunderstandings later on. So thank you so much, and really thank you for joining us on the journey through the final walkthrough process. And be sure to subscribe for more expert insights on navigating the real estate landscape in your city.